Fans, hey toy fans, good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night wherever you are in the world. I hope you can all hear me okay. I haven't really done a trial of this, so I'm not too sure how it's going to go. If I balls this up, I apologise, but what I thought I'd do today is try something a little bit different on the stream and take you through a virtual tour of the collection room. Do we have anyone in the chat? Gary's Action Man channel, hey, how you doing? Robert Chattel, hello. Oh, awesome, thanks Tim. Okay, so I only see a couple of messages pop up here. So what I think I'll do today, I figured out the other day when I messed up the start of the live stream with Gracie the other day, was that I had the camera the wrong way around and I thought I had to stop the live stream and start again. But it actually turns out that I can flip the camera from the front camera to the back camera, like so. So I am at the bottom of the stairs on the middle floor. And I think what we'll do to start with is just take you through a very quick walk through. So this is a new part of the collection. Well, the toys aren't new, but just the way I've got it set up. Finally got some of my DVDs organised and I've got my G.I. Joes there. And then walking around, there's an old newspaper clipping from me from a long time ago when I had hair. Yes, Jody, you did spot a rattler. I'll go back there in a moment. Apologies if I'm shaking a bit, guys. I'm not used to holding a selfie stick. This is a first time for me. I'm a selfie virgin. Oop, that sounds weird. So that's my Action Man collection. Got the Evil Knievel over here. My Lone Ranger stuff was, for some reason, Muhammad Ali's up there with him. And then you walk around the collection room. That door there is to the ensuite. That's where we hide the toilet paper. There's not many rolls left in this house. I've got a nice Batman print up there that I really like. That used to sit in my son's room, but he didn't want it anymore, so I claimed it. And then looking around, I've got my new, I used to have my Joes in there. I've moved them. That's now my Action Force case. I've got some boxed items up here. My $6 Million Man, Rambo, Mego, A-Team. Then we move around here to the Star Wars and Indiana Jones area. And then a lot of my Star Wars boxes. I'm actually thinking of putting some of these boxes away and getting more of the toys out. For example, I've got a nice original Kenner Star Wars Death Star there. I actually kind of want to put the Death Star up the top and not the box. So practice safe selfie sticks, kid. Yeah, I like that. The Action Force has kicked out. Yes, the Action Force has kicked out the Joes, unfortunately. All right, so I suppose, so anyone who saw my collection tour video, which would have been last year, I believe, a year, maybe a bit more than a year ago. Hi, Scuba Pete. Night of Ren, nice to see you. So anyone who saw my collection tour video, yeah, a year or year and a half ago, whenever it was, the collection hasn't changed a great deal. A few things have moved around, but I thought what would be different here is obviously being able to interact with you guys live, and you can ask me questions about some of the toys or whatever. But to make it a little bit different to the last collection tour, I'm going to, last time I kind of started with the Action Man and worked through. This time I'm going to start at the other end and work my way back. So it's just after 6 AM here in Australia. I've actually got to go into work for a few hours later today, but never mind. Sorry, guy, when you're on the phone, these chats go really fast. So if I missed your questions, guys, I do apologise. Only one or two of the live chat comments pop up. Yeah, looks promising. Okay, so I'm going to Cooney Clicks. How often do I dust off the figures, items that are on the shelves? Fairly regularly. So the guys who are in the glass cabinets is not a big deal. But the benefit of running a YouTube channel where you need to move the toys now and again to make videos, I'm able to clear out a shelf. Like recently I did my video on Masters of the Universe 1982. I cleared out the Masters of the Universe shelf, used them for a video, dusted off the toys before I did that, and then cleaned off the shelves when I put them all back on. So, all right guys, we got 40 people watching. Let's get those numbers up. I know it's the middle of the week, but I think a lot of people are at home. So, all right, I'll flip the camera around. Just a couple of very small pieces here. There is the, Jody, thank you very much for the super chat, my man. So we got the Polar Battle Bear, that was donated by Michael Mercy. I've got a carded Spearhead and Max with the Bobcat there. That's actually the Action Force, I can't remember what they call that. And Shipwreck in the Devilfish. I've then got some of my DVD collection. I've got a lot more DVDs than this. A lot of the others are down in the, actually in the studio. There's not enough room to display them all up here, but these are kind of my favorites. Starting with my Star Wars Blu-ray, my X-Men movies, Indiana Jones, Bourne Identity, the Dark Knight trilogy, Terminator 1 and 2, Rambo, Die Hard, that kind of thing. But we're not here to see DVDs, we're here to see toys. So this is my Cobra shelf. Let me see if I can move around a bit here. My favourite Cobra shelf. So there's the Rattler that was brilliantly restored by Joseph and donated to the channel by my good buddy Joseph. My favourite Cobra of all time, Firefly, the Cobra Soldier, Hooded Cobra Commander. We've got Destro, the Baroness, and the Eels, and the Asp. Apologies if I'm shaking right here, guys. I'm kind of half on the step, half off. I've got a carded Dr. Mindbender back there. Carded Tomax and Zaymot. That's actually, it's an original card back, but I've recarded it. The bubble was missing. The Ferret with version 2 Storm Shadow, a couple of Vipers, a couple of Snow Serpents, which I'm really, really fond of. And the Cobra Stinger in the box, which my wife bought me for my 40th birthday. And a Televiper. Down here we've got some of the Joes, Snowcat, Snake Eyes version 2, Flint, Dusty, Footloose, Barbecue, Airtight, and then Alpine and Bazooka flanking the sides of the All Striker. And further down, we've got the Havoc and Sergeant Slaughter's Triple T, which I did a video on recently. Hi, Orin Pax from the US, nice to see you. And down here I've got the Tomahawk. That's a really minty, complete Tomahawk. The only thing missing is the microphone for the pilot. Attack of the Tonys. I would really, really like to display this Tomahawk, but because of the wingspan, I've only just managed to get the Rattler on there. See, that acrylic stand actually overhangs the shelf just slightly. I would really like to display the Tomahawk and the Sky Striker. I've also got the Sky Striker. Yeah, I'd really like to be able to display those somewhere, but just due to the size and the wingspan, they're very, very difficult to display. So, all right, let's see if I can walk in backwards without tripping over. All right, as I said, we'll start from the opposite end of the collection this time. So I've got the Rebel Troop Transport, that's complete. It's got the small escape door underneath, and the Millennium Falcon hanging from the wall. We've got the AT-AT up there with a Imperial Snow Trooper and Luke in his X-Wing gear hanging from the grappling hook. Why not hang the Sky Striker and Tomahawk from the ceiling? Sigh, Cyril. So I live in company housing. One of the reasons I work in a remote town, it's a mining town. Not a lot of people want to live here. You sort of come here for the industry, and it's an expensive place to live. So a lot of the companies up here offer company housing. So I can't actually like screw hooks and stuff into the ceiling because I don't own the house. Ah, Scuba Pete, awesome. How did you mount those to the wall? All right, let's see if I can show you. So that's literally a picture hook there, like a single nail. Like I don't mind putting that into the wall because I can fix that small hole very easily. And then just some fishing line, and exactly the same with the Millennium Falcon. There you go. Good question, Scuba Pete. Okay, we'll get into this cabinet. So this, well, it still is my Indiana Jones cabinet. So I used to have my Kenner Indiana Jones starting from the top, going down to the third shelf, and then the bottom shelf used to be the LJN stuff. I've moved the Kenner stuff down one shelf to make this my new Action Force prototype shelf. Thanks to all the very kind donations from Bob Breakin. So we've got a couple of the SAS prototypes there. We've got a metal one, a resin casting, some prototype pieces, and my two carded SAS figures at the back. Then we get into the Kenner Indiana Jones stuff. I really like this line. That's actually an Action Force German soldier. I think he goes better in here than he does with the Action Force guys. Thank you very much, Jody. That was a good question from Scuba Pete. Probably my favourite toy in the Indiana Jones line is the Desert Convoy truck. It's just beautiful. And I've got Indy there on the horse. And then I've got another Indy down here with Sala with the Well of the Souls playset. Just before I go around the rest of the collection, this section here is actually new. So there are a couple of my SAS Action Man customs that I've made. Here I've got my very small collection of first series Action Force. This is where I keep the Space Force guys. Now, Space Force is going to be part 3 of the Action Force series. So I'm going to be working on that, I think, in the next 2 weeks. And then down here we've got the Q-Force guys with the Sea Lion, the Swordfish. Michael Schaefer, the customs are awesome. Thank you very much, my man. So I've got an SAS dress soldier there that I sort of did up and got him flocked with a handlebar moustache. And then what I'm assuming is sort of like a Falklands War era SAS guy. And then my 1/6 scaled update of the Action Force Silent Attack canoe. Got some of my toy library here. This is where I keep all my books on toys. I've got G.I. Joe books, Action Man books, Star Wars books, a few of my annuals, bits of stationery. This is the editing suite. I'll just turn it on and I'm actually going to have a quick drink of my cup of tea here. Actually, guys, bear with me a second. What I'm going to do is we're going to start watching this on here. And that way I can maybe catch up with some of the chats that I've been missing. Yes, so this is the editing suite. I've got the Triad Fighter from the Space Force. It's on the desk because I recently did a restoration. It wasn't a restoration worth making a video of. I just had to replace a few of the stickers. Kivo Williams, how long did it take to put this room together? Several weeks, my man, several weeks. I've moved houses a few times. There's the Z-Force battle tank with Steeler. Yeah, I've had to move house a couple of times in the last few years. And I've always, whenever I've moved, like the same toys go back into the same cabinet. So it's just a case of working out where the cabinets go. But I'll tell you, some of these cabinets here, I'll flip the camera around. Some of these Action Man cabinets are really big. And I live in a 3-story house and we're on the top floor. These were impossible to get up here. We had to actually completely disassemble them. Because, yeah, we just couldn't get them up around the bends in the staircase. So we had to disassemble them, move them up piece by piece, and then reassemble them. Apologies for the lighting in this cabinet. I don't know what's going on with this light. When I first turned them on, like these are all turned on one PowerPoint. So these are the same lights in there that they are in there. When I first turn them on, they're fine, and then after a few minutes, they start to dim for some reason. But while we're here, there's my single G.I. Joe Land Adventurer. That's the only G.I. Joe I got from the adventure team, along with my very rare Action Man Space Explorer, the Red Devil, the Jungle Explorer, and the Secret Mission to Dragon Island. So what else do we want to take a look at, guys? I'm going to try and catch up with some of the chat here on the computer. Inside Vintage Toys, do you have space for increasing your collection? Not really, no. Because this is quite a large room with a lot of space, I'll turn the camera around again, with a lot of space in the middle, I would love to get some glass cabinets that are sort of glass on the front and the back, so I can put a row of them down the middle where you can walk around both sides. But otherwise I have to keep a lot of stuff boxed up. For example, everything up here, all of my boxed Action Man vehicles, they just have to stay in the boxes because I've got no room to display them. I would also really like to display the G.I. Joe transportable tactical battle platform, but it has to stay up there in the box. I've got a box Snake Mountain, which I'm going to do a review on very soon. I've got no room to display that either, which I think is why I'm probably going to look to take a lot of these larger boxes down and put them away in storage and actually get more of the toys out. Soon Tony will confiscate Gracie's walk-in closet. I can't, man, there's too much stuff in her walk-in closet. All right, well, let's show you guys the Action Force collection, because this wasn't in the last collection tour. So I've got my shelf of Red Shadows there, which is pretty much complete. The only thing I didn't have when I made the last video was, let me move Zorro's whip out of the way, was a Red Jackal, and I've now got one courtesy of my buddy Gary Atkinson. He sold that to me, but asked that the funds would go to the Australian bushfire relief effort, so he sent it to the Wildlife Rescue Organisation. Down here we have the SAS guys, we've got the Wolverine, the Panther, the Hawk, which is a redo of the Fang. There's the Silent Attack I was talking about, the Boat Patrol, all the figures, got the MMS back there, and oh look, one of the missiles has fallen off. I have to get that fixed up later. Down here we've got the Z-Force guys with the ATC, the Jeep. There is, oh, my mind escapes me now. What do they call her? I can't remember. All the Z-Force guys. And there's no room in here for the battle tank, which is why at the moment it's sitting over there on the printer. Quarrel, that's right, Quarrel, of course. I kept wanting to call her Scarlet, and I knew it's a recolor of Scarlet, but yeah, Quarrel and the rapid fire motorcycle. I'm sure Michael is drooling over that ATC. Would you have a play date, please? I think you might have to ask my wife about that. Tony, what's your favourite force of the Action Force line? Oh, it's very, very hard for me. It's one of these two. It's either... I'm very, very fond of the SAS, but I do just love the I love the colour pattern on the Z-Force guys. But funnily enough, now that I'm doing my research and starting to write the script for the Space Force guys, I'm really starting to have a new level of appreciation for them. Particularly this Triad fighter. I love this Triad fighter. Timothy Ward loves the SAS, yes. Okay. If you just collected masks, you have loads of room. Yeah, I don't have any masks. I would like to start collecting masks. So I'm not gonna show you guys what's behind these two doors, but basically the door on the left goes into our bedroom, and the door on the right goes into the toilet and the ensuite shower bathroom. So when I get up in the morning, I come out of this door. I come out of this door in the morning, oops, sorry, and I have to walk through here every morning to go downstairs and make my coffee or tea on my way to work. Guys, do you know how hard it is sometimes to get to work when you start walking through here and you just lose all track of time because you sort of focus over here and go, oh, it's the Action Man Africa Corps and the Long Range Desert Group, and the next thing you know, I'm late for work. We just had a super chat. Let me pull that up. Oh, Jody again, just cause. Thanks, Jody. door number 1 or door number 2. Yeah, well, sometimes I come out of the bathroom, sometimes I come out of the bedroom. You must have a huge sense of pride. Yeah, I do. I almost feel as though I'm like the curator of a modern art gallery. You know, I consider these to be modern popular art. And I'm the curator of a collection of modern pop art. And speaking of art, there is my amazing, very rare print of the Action Force SAS airstrike artwork, signed. This is the only signed one that I know of, by Dave Barnacle, the original artist from Palatoy. He didn't do all of the artwork for Action Man, but he certainly did a lot of the later stuff from sort of the mid-70s onwards. What else can we show you? Yeah, so this is where the LJ and Indiana Jones stuff ended up, down the bottom here, flanked by Starsky and Hutch, which were recent acquisitions. My very small lunchbox collection. Got the A-Team in there with for some reason with the Ninja Turtles. And some more A-Team here. I do love that Armored Attack Adventure set. I would like to do a review just on that toy because I had it as a kid and loved it and it's so cool, but that is mint in box and I don't want to remove it. Kevin Williams, how many figures do you have? Well, I have absolutely no idea. I've got upwards of 200 and maybe 250 just Action Man figures, so I don't know. I mean, look there. I mean, just try and count those Migos. I've never tried to count. Scuba Pete, what's your most prized piece? Well, depends from which line really. So these prototypes obviously are priceless artifacts to me. I will never ever let these go. I'm also incredibly fond of this 1/4 scale copy of the Action Man hand, taken from the original mold of Action Man's gripping hand that Bob Breakin gave me when I made the documentary. Also very fond of these 2 Captain Zargon head sculpts that were sent to me by the original designer Greg Hughes. But they're all like one-off prototype pieces. I think if we just talked about an individual toy, my most prized piece, well, it would actually have to be a set, guys. It would probably, my most prized set is the Action Man ceremonials. So we've got the 17th, 21st Lancers there, which I have 2 of. The Blues and Royals, the Royal Hussar, the Grenadier Guard, a Lifeguard on horseback. Blues and Royals on horseback, and then the Lifeguard. That's probably my most prized set of Action Man figures, I would think. 63 people watching. All right. Where do we go next? There's a lot to see. What do you guys want to see next? Who wants to see Star Wars? Give me a thumbs up or a yay, nay. Who wants to see Star Wars? I need tea. My Tetley's extra strong tea. Have you ever considered, thanks for the super chat, Just a Kid from Brooklyn, have I ever considered photographing them all for a Flickr album? No, I make videos. I don't really, and I'm not going to offer up a lot of photography. If you want to see my toys, you watch the videos. So someone there, sorry, it went past real quick. Someone's asking Gracie if they can come around for a play date. Gracie's at work this morning. That's why I was trying to get a live stream earlier and earlier so it's not too late for you viewers in the UK, because I know often when I do them early in the morning here, it's a good time for people in the States, but it's normally very late for people in the UK. Well, Grace doesn't normally go to work this early, but she had to leave early today. She's only working till lunchtime. And that's why I announced this at the last minute. I was like, well, I can get up at 5, have a cup of tea, have a shower, get ready, and then once Grace is off to work, we can do a live stream for half an hour or so. So, all right, did you guys want to see Star Wars? Probably good as she would hit you over the head for not saying she's your most prized piece. Oh, well, yes, but she's not a part of the collection, but she is my most prized piece, yes. I'm a very, very lucky man. All right, let's go for Star Wars here. So I have a boxed first issue Kenner X-Wing there, which is in the box, and a loose battle damage X-Wing without the battle damage stickers. Got the Darth Vader collector's case there with the original cardboard outer. And then we sort of come down to the cabinets here. So I've got a carded Han Solo and Chewbacca at the back on an Empire and Jedi card. And then I've got, I haven't sort of displayed all of the first 12 together. This is basically kind of a, I suppose this is almost a Tatooine shelf, although I do know that Princess Leia was not on Tatooine in the first movie. And then moving across here, like my favourite Empire shelf. So my favourite carded Star Wars figure of all time, Luke Skywalker in Bespin fatigues. I've got a carded Yoda. Then we come down, we've got Luke, Yoda, Han in Bespin, and Lando. Is that a repro Snaggletooth? Yes, it is. That is a Smith Lord Creation Snaggletooth. Here we got my collection of bounty hunters. I know Boba Fett is missing from this lineup, but I do have a Boba Fett. He's down the bottom with his Slave One. And at the back there, I've got the mail away, is it Forlom or Zuckus? I always get confused. That I won in a competition that I entered by going on a live stream on Echo Base Network. So guys, if you ever see Echo Base Network pop up live, definitely jump on and enter into the competition because they do some awesome prizes. Okay, moving down, we've got a kind of a small Hoth shelf here. One of my favourite Star Wars vehicles there, the Snowspeeder. We've got a carded 8D8 there. I don't know why he's on this shelf because he's not a Hoth figure, but there you go. I've got the Wampa, FX7, Medical Droid. Basically all the heroes of Hoth there with the soldiers and the Tauntaun. Then we come to my Imperial shelf. That droid at the front there, a custom from Stan Solo. Got some of my Stormtroopers, all my sort of Imperial cronies. I've got the Emperor, Vader, two of the Emperor's guards, and my only TIE fighter, the blue TIE fighter. No mouse droid, Jody, no mouse droid. Down here, a few more customs and original pieces. I've got my Rancor. That's these are all customs at the front, or custom reproductions. Yak Face, Han and Luke in Stormtrooper disguise, and carded at the back. A bit of an Endor shelf, I suppose, with the ATST. Those droids figures are from Stan Solo. Here we've got Slave One, there's Boba Fett, Han and Carbonite. Is the Jedi Luke a custom? No, he's not. He's an original. And Jabba, which was Gracie's number 5 favourite toy in the collection, and a lot of Jabba's cronies, with a custom pop-up R2-D2 with the drinks tray from Stan Solo. Alright guys, I hope I'm not shaking this camera around too much. I will admit my arm is getting sore, so I'm switching hands now. What else do you want to see? Hit me up in the chat. What else do we want to see? Let's do this. Let's do this just for giggles. Let's watch ourselves watching ourselves. No, you're nice and steady. Yeah, the iPhones are pretty good for that. I mean, if I was using my 4K camera, the shake does show up a bit more, but iPhones are pretty good with the stabilization. Any Transformers, Tony? Yes, I got Transformers, mate. I have 2 and only 2. Megatron and Optimus Prime in original boxes. The boxes aren't sealed, so I am able to take them out and use them for videos. He-Man, yeah, He-Man. So a lot of these guys appeared in my recent Collector's Guide to 1982. Obviously not all of them, because they're all from 1982. That Ram Man I recently restored. I did some paint touch-ups. I fixed the handle on his axe and replaced the silver bracelets, and I did all of that by following an excellent video on Toy Polloi. There's my Castle Grayskull. As I said, I've got a Snake Mountain, but it's down in the studio ready for a video review. And I don't have room to display it up here anyway. Do I have the French Navy Action Man? No, I don't. Here's some of my other Masters of the Universe stuff. I do like, I loved Jitsu when I was a kid. I didn't like Fisto as much, but they are kind of, you know, you can't have one without the other. A few of the vehicles. I've got some more Masters of the Universe, but that's all I've really got room to display. Yeah, the rest of it is downstairs. Punisher XX, Tony, are you going to keep collecting now or have you stopped? No, I'm going to keep collecting for the rest of my life. Well, I mean, unless you're asking about the current situation, because certainly I am not, I'm not actively going out and purchasing stuff at the moment, just because I'm worried a bit about postage. So someone asked me before about Star Trek. So the only Star Trek that I have are the Mego figures. I don't really have anything else Star Trek. I do have the Enterprise playset from Mego, but again, no room to display it. That's down in storage in the studio. Some of my Rambo collection. So that Savage Strike Cycle is mint and unopened. The Defender used to be mint and unopened, but I decided to open it for a video. The Defender and the Savage Strike Cycle. I've got another Defender that's in storage. Here we've got all the Savage guys with a few of them carded. And Rambo and the Force of Freedom. Now Bionic Man. So I've got a number of boxed figures. I've got first issue Bionic Man boxed. I've got Maskatron boxed. I've got Oscar Goldman boxed. And I've got the Bionic Woman boxed. And then up here are all the loose figures. That's actually a $6 Million Man jigsaw puzzle and the Porter communicator in the box. And I've got issue 1 of the Bionic Woman comic, which I have never read. It just, I think when I purchased the box Bionic Woman, the person included the first issue comic. Here's an interesting piece. So this is the Energized Spider-Man from Remco. No articulation, but it was battery powered, and I think with a web climber, so a battery powered web climber. Someone just asked if I watched all the Rambo movies. Yes, I've watched them several times. I'm not really a fan of the most recent one that came out, but I'm a huge fan, particularly of First Blood. There's my 1/6 scale box Mr. T. It was a weird thing about the A-Team line. The scale was all over the place. You had 1/6 scale Mr. T, although he's sold by Galoob, he's not actually sold as being B.A. Baracus. He's being sold as Mr. T. But then you've got A-Team in 6-inch and then sold by the same guys, the same company, A-Team 3 3/4 inch. I do like the van. That's actually a really cool toy. If you ever can get one and you've got all the lights intact on the top, very, very good. Any advice for toy conversations in tropical climates? One thing is, I never turn the air conditioning off in this room all year round. It's the actual aircon is up behind there. Otherwise, it's very easy to start getting mold in these houses. Okay. Animal toys. What is your most prized Action Man piece? I've already answered that question a few times. Love how each collection is unique. Great how you've got it arranged. Yeah, I've been collecting for a very, very long time, but displaying. Well, actually, so this cabinet here. I'm going to move back a little bit so you can see this cabinet in the middle that's got drawers and cupboards underneath. I purchased that cabinet when I was 21. It was like a 21st birthday present to myself. I'm now 42, so I've had this cabinet for half my life. And when I purchased this, apart from the vehicles, my entire Action Man collection fitted in this cabinet. Just these two bits here, my entire collection. And now look at it. I've got it flanked by two even larger cabinets. And then there's still all this stuff at the top that doesn't fit. I've got the space capsule and the motorbike and sidecar down here because there's no room for them. Yeah, we've got stuff all over the place. Lone Ranger doesn't really get the love that it deserves, I think. What do you guys reckon? I think Lone Ranger's awesome. Really cool. Rob Braun, have you got an SAS Action Man? I've got them all. The Talking Commander, the Key Figure, the Frogman, the Parrot Attack, the Secret Mission set. Can we see the top boxes? Yeah, of course you can. We can see the top boxes. So we start here with the SAS Airstrike. I've also got the whatever the SAS dinghy was called is behind that. The Scorpion tank. They've got two of my carded special team outfits, the Underwater Assault and the Ground Assault, the Seawolf, the Land Rover. Got the two Talking Commanders there, the basic Talking Commander and the Space Ranger Talking Commander. Captain Zargon, Space Ranger Captain, Key Figure, Helicopter Pilot, Frogman, basic figure. Adventurer, Sailor, Soldier with gripping hands and Helicopter Pilot. Bullet Man, that's actually a repro box. Then we've got the Desert Fighter. Sailor, Soldier, Adventurer with flocked hair but no gripping hands. And the talking one. And then at the back there I've got an original painted head box Action Man Soldier. The Action Man Talking Commander painted head. I've got the box Field Commander up here. Behind that the training tower, kind of half that box is hidden away. Royal Marines Exploration Team. The Eagle Eye Soldier with the side flap. Oh, thanks Jody, thank you for the super chat, my man. The Intruder, probably the worst toy ever made for the Action Man line. Got a box Searchlight, and then the Pursuit Craft. You'll see that's wrapped in what we call here in Australia Glad Wrap. I think you guys in America called it Saran Wrap or something. I wrap a lot of these boxes in that when they're not able to go into cabinets, just to keep the dust off them. Down here are my vintage 60s G.I. Joes. I love these guys. I love the Action Marines. Really cool. I've got a fully loaded Footlocker there, the MP, the Air Police. This is probably my prized vintage G.I. Joe figure, and that is the Marine Jungle Fighter. That's just a beautiful, beautiful toy. I love all the badges on the shirt. I do quite like the SAS, the Shore Patrol as well. Would you want to play Action Man if it was adapted into a film? I don't think they should ever adapt Action Man into a film, so I don't really want to comment on who I think should play Action Man. Apologies if this symbol offends anyone, but that's the Escape from Colditz set that I love. I've got the carded Escape Officer there, very rare to find that on the card. The German Staff Officer. I really love this shelf. Really, really cool shelf. And here's some more boxes kind of at the back. These are my favorite boxes. These are what they call the hybrid figures, where Action Man had all of his innovations by this stage. So the eagle eyes, the flocked hair, the gripping hands. The only thing that hadn't come out was the dynamic physique and the sharpshooter neck position. But these are my favorite boxes, so that's why I've devoted a single shelf to them, with the box figures basically flanking the gripping hand sculpture that I got from Bob Breakin. And on the end there, obviously, Tom Stone and Atomic Man. Here's Rom the Space Knight that was very kindly donated to the channel not too long ago from my buddy Andy Wooten. I do plan on doing a video on Rom at some stage. What's in the drawers of your cabinet? Oh wow, guys, you want to know what's in the drawers? Well, they're not sock drawers. Okay, now we're going behind the scenes of Analog Toys. Okay, in this cupboard, although that box says Rambo, it's not Rambo stuff. I don't know what it is. It's spare parts for Action Man figures. And then I've got, there are Lone Ranger bits, spare Mego bits, Some Action Man spares. Action Man spares. Look at that, a drawer full of Action Man boots. And other kinds of boots and slippers for Action Man. Here are just odds and sods. Nothing too exciting in there. Same in there, bits of lighting and stuff. Nothing too fancy. Well, here's some interesting bits. So I've got some original Action Man paperbacks in there. I've got the sticker book. I've got a whole heap of unopened Panini sticker packs in here. There's a spare Husky for the sled. There's the Turbo Copter. The child-size Action Man mess kit. Yes, Tim Ward was the recipient of some of those extras. And then in here, I've got an Action Man Internationals figure there. Some more figures that I don't have room to display. Here's a cool one, the 7th Cavalry. I've got to find room to display him somewhere. An original Action Man mail-away box. Spare clothing for Action Man. So this footlocker is from 90s Action Man, but it's excellent for storing. So spare weapons, accessories, all kinds of stuff in here. And this is a G.I. Joe. This is an original footlocker, but this isn't the wooden one. This is the vinyl one. And I've got some spare 60s accessories in here. Uniforms, flamethrowers, bits like that. So all spares that I use for restoring toys every now and again. Always handy to hang on to spares. And here's just a whole heap of bits and pieces that have turned up recently and I haven't been able to sort out yet. Okay. Whew. My arm's getting a workout this morning. Look at that, guns. My arm's getting really sore. How are we all doing? So Gary's Action Man channel says, in every Action Man collection there are always hidden treasures. Yes, there are. Jodie, yes, though, I can imagine Dave from Toy Polloi drooling over those spare parts. I imagine Dave from Toy Polloi's got a lot of those spare parts as well. Thanks for the draw tour. Yeah, a bit unusual, but yeah. Cooney Click's not a grenade launcher in sight. Oh, there's some in there, they're just buried. Someone says, wow, very organised and prepared. I'm impressed, thank you. Yeah, the Civil War guy is good. I've got to find somewhere to display him. Did I see one Ghostbuster? Yeah, you did see a Ghostbuster. Let's get the camera turned around again. That is my humble Ghostbusters collection. I would love to collect the first series of Kenner's Real Ghostbusters, and I'd love to do a video, but at the moment that is the extent of my collection. Yes, space is always a nightmare for collectors, Punisher XS, it really is. What haven't we looked at? Or have we looked at everything? I don't know. Alright, let's show you guys down here. So these are all eagle-eyed Action Man, mostly the soldiers. So I've got a couple of US machine gunners there in the carded outfit, the US Para, the US Marines, the Russian infantry from the International series, and the UN from the Internationals. The Marine, which was Gracie's #1 toy in the collection. The British infantry, the Para. Michael French will like that one, the Battle of Britain pilot. The Royal Marines Mountain and Arctic, and a basic soldier. Evel Knievel collection, there's the Dragster. There's the Stunt Cycle. Stunt and Crash Car, the Dragster, a carded Evel Knievel figure at the bottom. I've also got the Scramble van at the back there. So, all right guys, thank you all for tuning in. I think I'm going to call it quits there. My son, I just heard him get up a little while ago. He's eating his breakfast. He's going to get the bus to school soon, so I want to go say goodbye to him before he goes to school and before I have to get ready for work. So, is every shelf lit? No, not every shelf is lit. The cabinets are lit. The bookshelves are not. Scuba Pete, you're very welcome. No worries. We'll watch the repeat. Missed the beginning. All right, thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Tony. Love your collection. Appreciate that, Keith. Really appreciate that. Thanks for the tour. Have a good day. Cheers, Tony. Love this tour. All right, yeah, I just thought I'd do something a little bit different. I know a lot of people are in lockdown. Here in Australia, we're not quite in lockdown yet, but it's every day it's changing. We now have, you know, cafes, pubs, gyms and everything closed, although they're still keeping schools open, which is astounding me. The recent news coming out of Perth was that a bus driver who returned from overseas tested positive for COVID-19, and now they're basically telling the public that he was driving a public transport bus for a week before he got tested, and they're now concerned about something like 150 odd passengers that paid with cash. So yeah, it's a very, very scary time. So please everyone, stay home, stay safe, don't go out if you need to, practice good hygiene, and if you are staying in, enjoy my videos. I'm hoping to bring you many more in the coming weeks. All right, thank you all for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one, which will probably be Snake Mountain, I think. My writer's block's gone away. I'm going to get that script done. All right, thanks, guys. See ya.